I hope you go back and you listen to the interview that I just did with Sage Steele. I know Sage did a good interview with Megyn Kelly. I like Megyn too. I'd encourage you to check out Megyn Kelly's interview with Sage. But Sage was just on with us in the third hour of the Clay and Buck show. She's phenomenal. She's left ESPN. She was willing to stand on principle and stand for what she believes in. And ESPN fired her because she's a conservative voice. And I don't even think Sage is that conservative, right? This is what's always crazy about it. Only in the last few years has it been considered a conservative opinion to say, hey, your race shouldn't define what you believe. Hey, you are not defined by your gender or by your sexuality. I think that oftentimes your race, your gender, your sexuality are some of the least interesting things about yourself. Because in many ways, you aren't really making a choice, right? You're born that way. I didn't choose to be a straight white guy. To me, the fact that I am a straight white guy is the least interesting part about me because it wasn't any kind of choice that I made. Similarly, I think that your race and your gender and your sexuality, for the most part, all of it's set. You don't choose it. When I say for the most part, I mean for purposes of sexuality, I think you really are born gay or straight. You can disagree with it. I don't think most people make a calculated decision, oh, I'm going to be gay today, or oh, I'm going to be straight today. I think you're born, like I was born, white, male, straight. Never made a conscious decision to like girls, just like a lot of you didn't make a conscious decision to be attracted to what you're attracted to. Those are uninteresting. I'm born that way. So if you believe that, why have we allowed that to define what you then are required to believe? America is a far better country if all of us focus more on the choices we make, which actually is what makes us interesting, not the identities that we are born with. And what the Democrat Party and identity politics in general, and the left in particular in this country now believes, is your race, your gender, and your sexuality define you. If that's true, then you are defined as an individual before you are even born. I find it profoundly uninteresting that you would be defined by choices you never made and that they box you into what you have to believe for the rest of your life. And I think most Americans agree with me. Gay, straight, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, male, female. And that to me is a big part of the argument that I make in this book, American Playbook, but it's also an argument that Sage Steele is making. And I would encourage you to go listen to the interview that I did with her. It'll be up on the podcast. I think you guys will really enjoy it. And I wish Sage well, as she now is out free and able to speak out. But I do think Sage's experience at ESPN is interesting in particular for this reason. We have created a world that is very left-wing in nature. If Sage Steele had super left-wing opinions, if she believed that men who identify as women are the greatest women's athletes of all time, if she believed that kindergartners should be taught about sex-related issues, if she believed that it was brave to have an abortion in the 9th month of pregnancy, and all of those things, for instance, she was outspoken about, she would still be employed at ESPN. And if she had said everybody in the country needs to be forced to get the COVID shot, she probably would have gotten promoted. It's one thing to say, hey, this company is focused on sports, which is what ESPN used to say. Now ESPN is focused on only left-wing sports. What does it say about the direction of our country that you can be forced out of your job if you have the wrong opinion on issues that have nothing to do, by and large, with your job on a day-to-day basis? And what does it say that the largest sports media company in the country right now believes that men who pretend to be women and win women's championships are heroes, and that if you don't believe that, you are a bigot and you can't work at that company anymore? I'm excited to see what Sage is capable of out on her own in the real world, where guess what? Most sports fans are going to agree with her, and they're going to judge her based on the content of her opinions, the content of her character, and not the color of her skin. And I look forward to checking out what Sage is going to be able to accomplish, but I encourage you to all go listen to our discussion at Clay and Buck